It's 11:44 p.m. So let's just take 1 second. That's all we're allowed, is 1 second to be annoyed that this is my life, because I just woke up. Well, I woke up at like 8:39 p.m. for the day. Let's just be annoyed for 1 second. We're allowed to be annoyed for Okay, second's over. In fact, it took a little bit longer, let's be honest. Moving on, I've been on Pinterest. I mean, that's not anything new. I spend 24 hours on Pinterest most days. Is it embarrassing? Absolutely not. Being on Pinterest is very productive. Anyways, I've been on Pinterest because my friend was so nice and gave me 3 huge canvases, but I haven't painted in a while because, one, my shoulder, it goes in and out, so sometimes it's just a little too much for my shoulder. I go hard. I go hard when I paint, you know? It's an Olympic sport. I'm dedicated to the process. But also because we're in such a small space, and I like to take up a lot of space as a creative, as an artiste. Now, I just like to spread everything on the floor, and especially these, like, I like to paint bigger too. Like, some people paint like little miniature things, and I think it's so cool. I want to be like that. I have a couple of miniature canvases. Why aren't I breathing? I do have a couple miniature canvases that I got because I want to be that girl. But most of the time I'm not. I like to paint on humongous canvases. I don't know what it is. It feels amazing. Anyways, I do have some paintings that I've been saving in my life, in my Pinterest boards, okay? It's how I organize anything and everything that ever was, will be, could be. Hello. Should I tell you how many Pinterest boards I actually have? I think I have over 100. And I active. Like, I'm using them all. I have a whole Pinterest board saved, all of like the arty things that I want in my home. I don't know if it's the delusional in me, or if it is realistic, or if it's like the cheapskate in me, which also doesn't really make any sense. But for some reason, I see art and I'm like, oh, why would I buy that when I can do it? A lot of times. There is art that I see and lots of things that I'm like, oh, I could do it, maybe, but I'd rather get their version or buy it or whatever. But there's apparently a whole Pinterest board's worth of art that I'm like, I want in my home and I want to do it. Also, okay, do you watch movies on TV? Because I do a lot of it. And in TV and movies, a lot of times they have like, or reality TV, I feel like you might know about this from reality TV, but there'll be like art on the walls in like hotels and, you know, cafes and the homes and stuff like that. And they like have to replace the art or blur it sometimes. So I can make my own art and then I can put it on my walls, and then I can film, and then I'll know and you'll know that all the art in all of my videos is, you know, from me. Is that important? I don't know. Also, I feel like because I paint and people know it, you know, my friends know I paint, hence why someone gave me canvases. But because people know that, I feel like when they come over to my house and they see something, they're like, oh, did you paint that? And I'm always like, no. It's a different vibe knowing that I made it and put it on the walls. And I feel like it does hold some sort of like extra feeling for me as like something that I just buy at like TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Walmart. And I'm like, I love it. And it makes me happy. Gives me dopamine. But when I paint something that I love, gives me dopamine, and I put all that work into it, and, you know, usually like I have to, I don't know if all artists are like this, but if I'm not interested in it, I try to paint it, it's not going to come out well at all, 1. And then 2, I'll probably never finish it. To sit there and to paint something and to look at it for hours, like you're just intent on this one image for hours. And I like to paint quick. I don't like to take like 6 months to do a painting. I'm not that kind of artist. I just don't have that kind of desire and attention span. So most of my paintings, like if I don't get them done within like a day in one sitting, they're never going to get done. So, and something needs to capture my attention, and I need to be invested enough in it that I can do it in one sitting. which means I'm not getting up for like, 4 to 6 hours and I'm just staring at one image and trying to meticulously make it come to life on canvas. And I use a lot of reference pictures, as many artists do. I don't know, maybe you don't know that, but usually a lot of artists, I do, use like a picture or a draft or something so that they can, like, you don't just like make things from memory. It's very unreliable. You have to make something a lot to be able to do that, or a savant, I guess. I don't really know who you have to be because I'm not that person that can make something from memory and it be good enough. So I have to have, like, even if it is something I've painted or drawn a lot, like a face. I have a face. I know about a face. I've seen a face a lot. I still need it in front of me. I need a picture of a face in front of me. Anyways, so I usually have a picture in front of me. I need to be able to stare at that picture for 4, 7, 8 hours. Anyway, so I feel like I really need to like it. And to like it, I feel like a lot of times, like, I'm creating story, I'm creating a background, I'm creating feelings. There's a reason why I like this, and I can be obsessed with it for so many hours and then make it. And then if I still like it after I make it, that's a whole nother story. Anyways, that's such a long intro, don't you think, to me showing you my Pinterest board? No such thing. You have to know the context. The context is that I want to make some art that I actually want to go on my walls in my home for a good amount of time, which means, one, we need to figure out what colors to use, because I don't want to like make a whole bunch of art that doesn't go together, because then they won't look right in the same room. It'll make them objectively all look bad. Why are those pieces on the same wall? I don't want anyone to think I'm a rookie. And I want everyone to be happy. Most importantly, I want me to be happy in my home that I spend a lot of time in. I'm a homebody, not always by choice, but I accept it. And I will say it's by choice now. Should I show you my art pins, or should I show you the house pins first of like my Pinterest board of the home, what the vibe is? Which right now I live in a basement, very small, but now that I can walk a little bit more and better because I went to physical therapy, I will never not talk about it. Physical and emotional talk, counseling, therapy, both of them, both those therapies, because they both saved my life. Anyways, we can make the art even though we don't have the house. So that's kind of like, is it backwards? I don't know. Can you have one art piece and decorate a whole house around it? Yeah, but that's a lot of pressure on a piece of art. I want it all to be planned at once. Is that unreasonable? I don't think so. But I don't think so because I have Pinterest. Do you like my iPad case? I'm sure you guys see it all the time. But my friend saw my iPad for the first time. I came over her house with my iPad and she was like giggling. She was like, oh my goodness, that's a child's case. And I was like, yes, you're such a mom, you know that I'm a child. Apparently this is how I have to treat my stuff if I want it to last. I just clicked the board and I feel like you're already getting the vibe, right? So stripes, we love stripes. A washing machine room, laundry room with these stickers on the wall. Come on. And then, have you noticed how much I like stripes? Because I have, apparently. So I was like looking at some striped things so that I can be, like it's a brand, it's a thing. I love this kind of thing where it's like a window or whatever, but you've got like the colors on it. I also really love like this concept. I have this saved several times of when they have windows, but they have like the window seals. I call them seals, like Is that what a seal sounds like? I don't know, like the animal. Anyways, window seals, that's fun. And then do you see the ceiling has like stripes? Come on. Okay, how cute is that? Mirrors, but they look like sunglasses. And then to have like the little letters on top, that's like, I don't know about nostalgia. I'm not very nostalgic, but that would be kind of nostalgic, don't you think? I don't know, to me. Coasters that are cookies, come on. Okay, and then I love a good gallery wall. It has been one of my dreams for years to have a gallery wall, and I think as an artist, I should have one because I have so many paintings just sitting there doing nothing right now. They're packed away because, again, small space. So, but one day I'm going to have a wall, and like if they're all on the wall, then they don't have to be like packed away. I don't know. I should be doing this. I love these colors, the pink and the blue. Pink and blue are like my favorite colors. And then my husband's favorite color is also blue, which is really cool because then it means that we can have a lot of blue in our house and be really happy about it, you know, because we both have the favorite color blue. Look at how cool this is. I think that's really cool. I have a pattern that I use a lot in all of my stuff that you see that's kind of like this, but not another gallery wall. I told you, we're barely down and we've got another gallery wall. Okay, I also obviously just love a good pattern. Here's a good pattern. Here's a good pattern. Here's a good pattern. I want a good pattern. Here's a pattern. Hello. How cool is that? Okay, this again, but I'm like, this has got to be something I can do with all of my colors and can still be really cool and funky. Look, another good pattern. Yes, look at this rug. How cool would that be to have in your house? I love a good rug. Now there's some of these pins in here that live rent-free in my mind that I absolutely have to show you because they're just fantastic. Okay, look, stripes. This is art. This is my art, actually. It's on Pinterest and I saved it because how cool is that to have your own art on Pinterest and for it to come up on your page. I had to just save it, and I do like this stuff, and it has the stripes, and it has, I mean, I made it, so hopefully I like it. But it's supposed to be like a cool set that you can use in a gallery wall. So I'm like, for sure, I should have this somewhere. If I had like an outside barn space, I think it would be really cool to really do a lot of pink there and then use these as accents on the wall to the pink. Look, another gallery wall. Come on. Obviously she has a vibe. Obviously she has this type. Here's some pink and blue. Pink and blue. Ooh, could you imagine? And how easy to paint something outside. Just like throw the paint on it. Last time I painted something that was outside, I used a broom and it was great. And I got to paint something really big in a small amount of time. I think that's cute. And hello. When we move from here, our goal is to move somewhere with room for us and then a room for people when they come visit, because we don't live close to all of our friends. Is that what adulthood is? I don't know. I've never lived close to all of my friends, so we have people that travel to see us. Thank you. We're very grateful because I don't travel well. You know, look. Stripes. I pinned this straight for the stripes. Wow, I really hit that S and hard and straight. This is for the colors. This is for the vibes. Maybe I should take note of this one for the colors and vibes. What do you think? Okay. Hey Siri, take a screenshot. Please. Always be nice to your electronics. Okay. So now we have that. Did you see how long that took to take a screenshot? Did you? That's a wee bit of something. Anyways, well, now we have the colors from that saved in that screenshot and we can pluck them out. See, that's the thing. There are things that I love in other people's homes. This, I think, is going to be an easy DIY. Some fake plants, paint them pink. That's going to be a nice accent to our very blue home. There's also another plant that's pink and green, or pink, green, and blue somewhere on this board. That's also amazing. Anyways, back to what I was just saying, is there's a difference, for me at least, of loving things and being so inspired, amused. I just love it in someone else's house, maybe, but not me. I don't love it for me and mine, you know? Anyways, so I love these. I love those plates. I love dishes a lot. Okay, I love this. Just like a little picture of a little home. That would be really fun to do in our own. Don't see, there was bugs up there. I'm sorry. I hope that didn't ruin your day, seeing bugs like that. Ugh, it would have ruined mine. Look at, I could have stripes in my shower. See, that's cool. And this I saved before I even realized how much I love stripes, which I just realized. I should have realized that a long time ago. But I was looking in my closet, I was getting all my clothes, and I was like, everything that I've bought is stripes. Everything. And everything that I have saved on my wish list, stripes. I'm just going to fall into it, you know? I like fight things for no reason in my life. I really like these colors. I think this is another winner as well, actually. And I think this color is close. Before in our house, actually, let me ask Siri to take a screenshot because it takes her 5 minutes. Hey, Siri, take a screenshot. Let her do her thing. In our old house, where we had like a whole kitchen and stuff, we had all of our kitchen things and they're all teal. Actually, should I show you really quick? I'm gonna have to get up out of bed. Oh, like this. Hello, this is part of our sheet set. As you can see, I never match my sheets. I think she's type B. My husband's always like, do you want me to, huh? And he's like rummaging through the sheets to be like, I have to get the pillowcase that goes with the thing. And I'm like, why? I should really just buy a whole bunch of the same ones. But actually, wouldn't that be a great idea? Because we have all this kitchen stuff and we could keep all the kitchen stuff. And so we could use that color. And then we could also use that color like sprinkled throughout the house. Also, just take a minute and clap that I'm getting up out of bed. Because at this point, and today, it's a win. It's a feat, okay, for me to do this. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Here's our teapot. Okay. I brought something else for show and tell. Hang on. Here is our utensils can. Can you see it? Okay, the utensils kind of wore off. It's been years. I've had this for probably since we got married. I think, yeah. And that's been like about 10 years. 8, 9? Almost 9. Yeah. So we've had this for like 9 years. And heavy use. And then some of the things are blue. Some of them are red. I don't know how I did that. Now that I think about it, it's the teal. It's this teal color, right? So this and pink for shoresies. But which shade? What contrast? I think we're on a good thing. I put the kitchen stuff back in the kitchen. Look at me. Make sure I'm still recording. Okay. Type B. And now I'm sitting up. Look at this. Thank you. You have really helped me get to this spot. Like quite literally. And I appreciate it more than you know. Anyways, I'll show you the actual art things that I have saved that I want in my home that I'm like, I can make that. I'll make a version of it. Also, we're not here to, what is it called? Do the same thing someone else has done and steal their stuff. And even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Let's be honest. I don't have that kind of skill. I'm like, oh, if I wanted to make the same exact thing and sat down and went to, at the end of the day, I'd be like, that's not the same at all, huh? Because I see it differently and then I make it differently. I don't know. In my head, I'm like, oh, I just copied this person's thing. And then I look at it and I'm like, no, it's really not. They wouldn't look at that and be like, wow. I do have like 1 or 2 things that I was like, I really liked what they did. And it did come out really close to what they did. Wait a minute. I think I just found my dream color palette. Oh my goodness. I think I just found, I like how I'm like having like a, like I'm ready to cry. I just found my dream color palette. It's crazy. It didn't take me so long. It's perfect. It's in my board. I have a board that I've worked on for years and saved, and of all the things that I love, of course it's my dream color palette. Of course I like it, and of course it works with the things that I like. It's just, it's not clocking to me who I am and what I like. Okay, I think this is really cute. You know I love a good affirmation. This is so cute. Good food, good mood, and like, it doesn't have to look exactly like this. I'm thinking I would do whole letters, maybe not the outline. Just because I have a harder time doing the outline. I could do it if I had like a marker and I wasn't using a paintbrush. But I don't know if I have any fun, cool markers. Actually, that's not true. I could use oil pastels. I do have oil pastel crayon-y thingies that I can use and go over top. And then it'll have like a very young, colorful, messy look, which I really like. So actually, let's do that. Oh, wow. See, I'm so glad that we're talking about this because I didn't think about that before. Okay, so we'll do that and we'll do like cool foods and then we'll make it really colorful because everything, in case you can't tell, I like color. I love this. I feel like this is a affirmation, but also just really cool and cute. And then I think it would be fun to do like different colors in the water and then add just a little bit of pink and purple and gray to just make it. Look, I have a vision. See, I have a vision for me so that it's super colorful and cool. I think that would be really cool. Also, can you hear my husband in the other room? He's playing games with his friend. And so you can hear him. I can hear him. And I just realized you probably can too. This is so cute. I have to have this. Their little tails oh, I love this. And my husband and I, we loved cats, and when we got married, our deal was that we could always have a cat. We would always have a cat. He had a cat when we got married. I had a cat. We had cats, blah, blah, blah. But then my health was getting worse and worse. And then at some point, I don't know if it was the cat that we had because it was like a little black cat. And apparently, I don't know how true this is. Let me get my light. Look at that. I'm here. Apparently, maybe like if you're allergic to cats, some cats you can be more allergic to, like black cats can really activate your allergies. Anyways, we had a black cat, so I don't know if it was that or if it was just my health or if it was both things or none of the things. I don't know. I like my animals to be happy and safe, kid friendly, people friendly, me friendly as a disabled little girly. I don't need a wild animal in my life. Anyways, so we had just gotten her and I was training her. I need to be able to sleep and my husband needed to be able to sleep because he was working night shift and stuff. So he was sleeping. She didn't get the memo yet. She was still in her youth. You can't meow like crazy at the door. You can't come and jump on us while we're sleeping. Like all of those, good sleeping habits. Sleeping is very important to me and my body and all of those things. Anyway, so I was on the couch with her taking a nap because I was tired. I was trying to train her. You got to be with her all the time. Immersive training. Anyways, I woke up and I couldn't hear, like one of my, I can't remember which side it was, but it was like my whole left side was like red, which when you're brown and then you turn red, so it was not fun, to say the least. Anyways, so we ended up getting rid of all of the cats, and it was a very sad time, and both of us are sad, and we still love cats, and we're so thankful that YouTube has a whole bunch of cat videos, and Instagram and TikTok. Everyone everywhere has the cutest cats videos, but we miss them. And I think that's cute because it's like a cute little cat couple, and it's, I don't know, I think it would be nice to have like a version of cats in our home. That, or it could make me sadder, but I think it would make my hubby happy. I think it would make Robbie happy to see. And then like having the night sky and stuff, that I think is really fun. That would be a fun thing to paint together, because I think it's really fun to paint, and I could show you how I do it and why I think it's so fun, and maybe you'll want to do it too. It's to paint a night sky. It's so much fun, especially like as a type B. I mean, do I really know that I'm a type B? I mean, I think we know. Okay, hello. The flowers, I love the painting the frame the same color and like the flowers extending to the frame. This is someone's thing of their stuff. I think their name is somewhere on here, hopefully. This is really fun and simple to do. This is another good easy one, which is great coming back into painting because I haven't painted in a while. But also, this would also be really easy to do in our colors. It would be easy for my shoulder because it wouldn't take that long. We could stop and come back to it. All the things. So it could fit a lot of the things. But hang on, there's another one. Now look at this. This is just your classic flowers in a vase. We could do this any colors. These are fun. Tulips, I think, are just fun to paint, to be honest, and easy. So this could be fun. We could also do like almost like a watercolory effect if we wanted to. I love doing a watercolor effect, and you can do it with acrylics because that's what I'll be using tonight is acrylics. Here's another vase and a flower one. We're seeing a pattern, but I already have one like that. Can you guess why I loved this? One, because they're peonies. Peonies are my favorite flower, period. And then I also like sunflowers and other things, but it's the pink and the blue. It's the pink and but I think they just did this really well. And to be honest, this is one that's a little bit harder for me to wrap my mind around, like this style of painting. It takes longer, it's harder for me, and I don't always enjoy the process, which makes me think I should cut that one out. This is one that I've loved for a long time. To me, it has like a deep feeling connected to how much I want to feel like I had a home. I moved around a lot when I was younger. Not like a lot, but a lot. Enough to not feel like that. And then just not feeling safe in my body, not feeling comfortable in my body. And then, in my home, bless my parents' little hearts, but they didn't know I was disabled, and as sick as I was, they didn't realize, so I wasn't treated like a disabled kid, and I was pushed a lot past my, my limitations, what I could do, because, people were telling them, doctors, whatever, be like, it's just, anxiety or whatever, and so if it's anxiety, you want them not to be in bed, or you want them not to, Anyways, so home didn't always feel like home. And now that isn't necessarily the case, and it doesn't have to be the case in the future because I'm an adult and I know things, and my parents are very nice. I live with my parents at the moment and my mom is really sweet and said nice things to me. I think I talked about that in one of my videos where I was just really vulnerable, where my mom got really sick and she had a talk with me and was like, I guess what was happening was in her sickness and her troubles and the things that she went through, awful, horrible things that reminded her of me and growing up and things like that. And so she did take a minute out of a really hard time in her life to talk to me about mine and to say some really nice, sweet things that, were healing and not everybody gets, and I am so grateful for. Okay, look at how pretty these paintings are. They're not paintings, they're photos that she had, I think like CVS or Walgreens or somewhere. You know, you can get like your photos put on a canvas, nice and big and pretty. Yeah, they're beautiful photos of the mountains that she took these photos. She didn't take the mountains. What am I trying to say? Beautiful photos of pictures she took when she was in Alaska, I believe. But she didn't like the way that they came out. And when she showed me the other pictures, I was like, oh yeah, these don't do it justice. So she was like, I'm just going to get rid of them, or you can take them and paint on them if you can. And it is a little bit more glossy of a surface. We're not going to try to pretend like these are the best things to paint on. However, I love a good challenge. I love a little DIY. I love a little like, you're not really supposed to paint on this moment. And really all it means is that it's going to take longer to dry, and it's just going in my house, you know, like I don't have to do something really amazing and sell it and be like, oh no, this might not last that long. Also, notice how I have my husband bring me my brushes that I started painting and was like, oh yeah, I only have one brush. This is not going to do. And then also I was showing you that this one brush apparently wasn't even the brush to pick because it was getting all up in the paint, which is literally the worst thing in the entire world. Like, name one more thing that's worse. There is nothing. No, I decided. I made the choice, okay, with my little fingers to dig out those little brush fibers, which, again, not fun. Anyways, I decided on 3 paintings. So I have 2 of these big canvases that are the ones my friend gave me that are actually pictures of mountains. And then I have one that's a smaller size because I said I wanted to do a painting kind of on a smaller size, and apparently I meant it. So I got a smaller size one. Also, if you were following along as like a tutorial, the tutorial is paint lots of different pinks or a pink with some white. And yeah, just do what I do and just splotch all the painting on the canvas. There are pros and cons to doing that. However, I find it just to be one big pro. And I had a lot of fun painting something big, just one color. It just feels very freeing. Like you're not going to mess it up, one. But I did mess up my floor a little. Don't tell my landlord / my parents. Because yeah, paint went everywhere. It was just flinging itself in all over the floor. And I have like a humongous sheet underneath me. Anyways, I'm making sure to get all sides of the canvas. And I really emphasize that because later on you will see that I missed them. I missed all the sides. I don't know how, but I did. And this is just going to be the first layer. Arguably, well, not so arguably, I think. The more layers you have in a painting, the better and more professional it looks. At least that's what I find for my paintings and the styles that I tend to paint in. Not to mention that you can still see the mountains in the background, and unfortunately that is not what we're going for in this particular painting series, so we really have to work to cover that up. So we're going to do at least 2 things. So this bottom layer, it's quite messy. It's beautiful. It's messy. It's free, but it really doesn't matter because we're going to cover it up. I mean, it does matter, which is why I'm not painting it all one straight blue, because I do want more of like that almost cloudy, blendy look of like a couple different, I don't want it to be one flat color, okay? I want to be different blues blending with each other, a little bit of lighter moments, a little bit of darker moments, you know, which I feel like I captured exactly what I was going for. So the next step in this tutorial is to allow a whole day for these paintings to dry. It took a little bit longer than I was thinking. I was like, oh, give it like an hour or 2, and it was still quite wet. So that glossy finish really was holding on to all of the moisture. Oh, look. We can kind of see there that I missed one of the sides. How did I do that? This is not rocket science. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and do exactly what we did on the first layer again, including just going straight on the canvas. If you ever watch a tutorial from like painters, professionals, teachers of the painting professional world, they will tell you not to do this, and they will tell you good reasons why. However, I do this every single time. All the time. It is one of my favorite things. This second layer, I'm trying to be a little bit more thoughtful about adding some more dimension, some more painterly effects, some more color. Hence why you were seeing me add some yellow. So the yellow will make it a little bit more like warm, peachy color. And then I'm also doing the same pinky magenta-y color, which is more towards the cool side, more towards like purpley pink than red pink or orangey pink. And then I'm adding in some white because all of that is quite dark and I want it to be quite light. And then I am blending the day away. I'm sure if you've seen any makeup tutorial or painting tutorial, it's all about the blending. It's all about you blend until you have arthritis in your wrist, basically. And we're not laughing because like, oh, that's funny. You're trying to be funny. I'm not being trying to be funny. You're getting arthritis in your wrist. That's real. That's a real thing. Just blend until everything hurts. Put on a wrist brace, blend some more. Then once I wait a whole nother day for that second layer to dry, I go ahead and I sketch, usually with a colored pencil, not a normal lead pencil that just bleeds into the paint and messes everything up, and not a permanent marker. Sometimes I do use permanent markers, but it's one of the worst decisions I make because it's so dark and vibrantly black, I don't know, that it shows through multiple layers because I paint in layers and it still shows through multiple layers. Anyways, so here's the picture I just showed you on my iPad of what we're going to draw. That's right, we decided on one of the paintings to be the shower one that says wash away the worries or wash away your worries, whatever, the shower head with the water coming down and something, no more worries. Also, just take a little peep. I'm going to show you, well, really you can't see the drawing at all, but I am going to show you that there are still fibers stuck in my painting somehow. Even though I had made it my mission in life to try to get them all out, I failed my mission. Anyways, I kind of just drew like the outline of like the triangle shape of the water coming out from the shower head and, you know, getting wider to the bottom. And then I put all the words because I got to make sure that they fit on the canvas and that they're somewhat like balanced. Like one word isn't so much bigger than another word, and like one is in the left and the other one I'm like scrumping to fit on the page. And if I do it in the little colored pencil, then when I go to paint on top, I can make sure it's right, make any adjustments there, whatever, and it's easier and it's better and whatever. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and start painting whatever I think this faucet looks like. I'm thinking circle. I'm thinking circle, pipe, circle. And hopefully, because I'm thinking circle, pipe, circle, I'm going to paint it in a way that kind of looks like, you know, a pipe, which is round and not flat. And, you know, the shower head, which is circular-ish, not flat. We can hope that that's what I'm doing. And as I'm painting this, I am also contemplating whether or not I'm going to use those oil pastel, oil crayon marker things on top. And here's what I'm thinking. The only issue is that they're very messy and very smudgy. So trying to get them on a canvas and not get them all over the canvas is already feat in itself. And then the other thing is that we will be mixing medium. So on the bottom here, what I'm using now is acrylic paint, and then oil pastel crayon-y thingies are oil. So oil can go on top of the acrylic, but once they're on top, I can't go on top with then the acrylic to like fix something with the acrylic, which is easier to use. And then the oils never really dry. They don't dry. Don't listen to anyone ever that says they dry. They don't. So if I brush up against this in the next 5 minutes while I'm painting it, 5 minutes after I paint it, or 5 years after it's been on the wall, it will smudge and smear all over and it will look awful. I guess it looking awful could be in the eye of the beholder, but I am the beholder. I'm telling you it's going to look awful. Take my word. Trust me. So how do I fix that? How I would fix that is getting a fixative spray and a respirator to use while I spray the fixative spray on it. And by me, I mean really my husband. And been doing this all outside in the nice plentiful country air that we have, still with the respirator on. Anyways, and that requires me buying more things and also like extra steps, even if I'm not taking them. And my little neurodivergent brain does not want to make extra steps, then I'm like, I may as well never finish it. And if I never finish it, then yeah, that's fine. I have a lot of projects that are halfway finished, and that's just life. That's part of my life. It's part of the decor. But in this case, it would be a really fragile, smeary part of the decor that if I bump against it, it's going to get me dirty and it dirty, and maybe the walls dirty, and that's problematic. And my life is already problematic enough. I don't need another problematic thing in my life, and we live in a small space, so the chance that we're going to rub up against it is 100%. It's 100. We're bumping into walls all the time. Small space, hitting walls. it's a no-go. But it is so firmly implanted in my mind that using the oil pastels is going to make everything better. So you will have to continue to watch to see what wins out, whether we're going to have a painting that is not as beautiful in what I planned, or if we're going to end a painting that's going to end up as a smeared painting. Or there's also a third option. And I'm just going to tell you the third option because I don't have it in the video, unfortunately. So this really is a painting that is not finished. The third option is an additive. We can do the oil pastel and add, or skip the oil pastel altogether and add jewels. That's right, you heard me. Jewels, like the things you wear as jewelry. Jewels, and glue or sew them into this canvas. I would probably glue them because this canvas is already so heavily painted. A needle would have a hard time getting through and still being a needle when it comes out on the other side. And I think I'm going to use jewels of a whole bunch of different colors and put that all over this shower head, the piping, and maybe just a few small different blue jewels to go within the water so that it's like, you know, water sparkles. And so will the water there, little water sparkle droplet jewels. Okay, I'm talking too much. We're on to the other painting. This is our good food, good mood painting, and I am so excited about this. You can't really tell in the video, but I also drew the under layer, the GOOD. I spelled that all out with another colored pencil, trying to set ourselves up for success here. And then can you tell what foods I decided on? What somewhat oval, circular like foods I decided on for the O's? That's 8 O's that needed to be turned into food. Well, I guess it's 4 pairs, 2 of each food. You know what I'm trying to say. Hopefully by now you know exactly what foods they are. And this, I did 1 layer of like the base for each food, and I could not get myself to do a second layer in the paint. I said, absolutely not. We're gonna go all in on the oil pastels for the food. And to be honest, they turned out exactly kind of how I wanted them. Exactly kinda. I mean, that's basically the best that it could get for me. Those are my highest standards. Exactly, kind of. Wait, I forgot that I left this in because I wanted you to be able to see this. Notice how my left hand is supporting the right hand, like in the middle of my forearm. That is so that I have some extra support, some extra control. And that's great for someone who doesn't have the best, control over their hands, or is a little extra shaky. And even great artists that you will see making masterpieces will use like a wooden stick thing, or like find places to rest their pinky or their elbow, something of the sort, anything in between the pinky and the elbow, so that they have that extra stability and extra control. So if you're like me and you have a little shaky hands while you're doing this and you're like, how in the world am I supposed to paint a letter or paint a circle? Then this could be one of the good tips that makes a difference for you, is making sure you have support and stability with the hand that you are painting or drawing with. Okay, and I'm really speeding through me using these oil pastel things because even if this was a tutorial, the tutorial would just be to color and be fun and feel your inner child. Feel that meditative coloring, be brought back to the good old days when life was simpler, and maybe you did say words like simpler, because I did. That's why I still say Paschetti. Now, I say most words wrong, and I'm sure you've noticed already by now. Anyways, I'm really, really, really happy with the way that the food came out. I think the eggs so far are my favorite, but please get excited because I am. I guess maybe you don't need to be excited. I won't tell you how to feel, but I'm adding jewels to this too. Can you imagine little jewels as the seeds for the strawberries? And for what I'm doing now is the watermelon, the seeds for the watermelon, and little jewels instead of the I mean, come on. I think it's perfect. And then the letters specifically are fine. I did extra outline in the fun crayon thing too. I think it's okay, but I feel like they still don't stand out the way that I want to. I almost wish I did them significantly lighter pink, or something. But I'm thinking to do something on top of the letters too, either with jewels, or I also have some really fun like fabrics and lace, and I think we'll figure it out. I think once I have a little bit more capacity, a little bit more brain, the next time that I'm like stressed and I need another DIY art project, this will be the best one. Also, by then I will be finished going through my closet. I'm currently decluttering my closet. That's going to be another video that comes out in Vlogtober. But along with that, I will be going through all of my jewelry. And I also have a lot of jewelry from my mother, and also my grandmother died in the last 10 years. Both of them have passed. And I got a lot of jewelry from both of them that I have now that I feel like would be great to have in these paintings, especially since some of them are like a little bit broken, they're older, they're things that I'm not gonna wear. And I don't know, we don't give jewelry to Goodwill. I don't think they'll even accept it, at least not ours, not here in the country. Anyways, so I think that would be a really great, like, you know, reduce, reuse, recycle. I'm not just throwing away, but also they're like a really important part of my life still. So are you starting to get on board with the whole jewelry in the paintings thing? Because I would like to say it's the best idea I've ever said. I think that I'm creating a new revolution, a new way of art. I'm just kidding. This is not my idea. In fact, I have a friend who's an artist that does this, and who actually suggested it because I had all this jewelry from my grandmother, and I'm like, I didn't want to get rid of it, but I also didn't have anyone to give it to. And she was like, why don't you put it in your paintings? Why don't you do some art with it? And I was like, oh my goodness, I am thinking so one-dimensionally, and you're over here living in a four-dimensional world. I wish I was you. Also, great idea. I'm gonna steal it, do it, and make a whole video about it. Anyways, by the time I'm decluttering my closet, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of stuff. I feel like that I'm gonna be like, this will be perfect. This will be perfect. I was going to roll my R's there, but I can't do it. Actually, hang on. Perfect. Thank you. That was my husband coming in clutch. And now you have the full effect of the moment that I need you to have. Okay, moving on to the last and most important piece. I mean, the other two, great. 10 out of 10. Super happy with them. They're hanging on my wall right now. And I'm so ecstatic that they exist. And I'm ready to buy a house just to put them in there. Got to get more walls for more paintings. But here's the thing. This painting has to do with cats. One, you must know, because this is lore. This is lore. This is my villain origin story. But really, the cats are the origin villain in this. Origin, what is wrong with me? Villain origin. You know what I'm trying to say. The point is that I love cats. You heard my cat story earlier. Love cats, can't have them. It's a tragedy. However, I can draw cats. And by I can draw cats, I mean I have like the free will. I have hands, I have markers, crayons, and paint. But I can't draw them to save my life. They're beautiful things. They're wonderful and cute and cuddly and perfect in all the cartoons and all the animes and all the everything that they're ever in, all the paintings. However, I cannot draw one to save my life. Literally. I've tried so many times in so many different mediums. I try on my iPad some simple digital art and still can't do it. In fact, I only have one time did I ever make a cat drawing that I was happy with, and it was basically a direct copy of someone else's, but even then I've tried to trace over cats on my iPad. Like, I put it there, I lower the opacity, and I draw over top of it. Still turns out horrific. I am just not the one. I was not. My hands just, they turn into whenever I try to draw a cat, and it makes me so sad. It is one of my biggest hurdles in life to overcome. Anyways, I only drew one cat in my entire life that I kind of liked, and it was on paper, and I let a little kid color on it. You know, I was like, oh, they need to have something to do, and apparently that means drawing my sketchbook, and that's fine. So it's basically kind of ruined. I mean, I might be able to, I don't think I even have it, but maybe I could look. I have to declutter all my art stuff anyways as well, so I guess I could look for it, see if it's there, and see if I could salvage it, but probably not. But either way, it is my lifelong goal to be able to draw cats. So this is all the pressure. Do you feel the pressure? Years of pressure to be able to do this painting and it not be completely messed up. Not to mention that I already told you how important and sentimental and how emotional and how special it can really be for us to have in our house, me and my husband as individuals, and also as a married couple, two people who are in love with cats, wanted to have them, had them for many years, had special memories, special moments, had cats together, and then had to get them violently ripped away from our life because of my health, because of my rashes, because I want to be able to hear every day. That's lame. I mean, honestly, I would have picked cats. If I wasn't at this point, I would have picked the cats over hearing. I can learn sign language. Okay, really quick before I go, I told you I was going to show you the most exciting thing. Notice this brush and how I flick it. This is the most funnest thing to paint ever, is whenever you're flicking paint onto a canvas. And in this particular circumstance, it's very fun, very easy, and creates a whole bunch of little stars like it's the galaxy. So this is the painting with the cats on it, but this is us adding the stars. So it's a little out of order, but it's because I really needed you to see and appreciate this part. And really, I just need to be able to focus on it. And I was really into telling you my stories. So now that I'm done telling you my stories, I'm going to show you how easy this is and how fun it is. Basically, we're getting some paint, some nice wet paint, not the thick paint, the like cheap wet paint, or we're adding water into it, which is why we have water right next to us. And then we're getting it on the brush and we're flicking it. Also, a lot of people use toothbrushes for this, like just plain old toothbrushes you can get from like the Dollar Tree or Walmart for like $1. And you put the paint on there, nice heavy glabba laba laba, and then you just flick it onto the canvas. It's literally one of the funnest things that I've ever done in my entire life. And you can use most brushes. And that is how we make paintings for our home. We tell stories and we paint things. And if we don't like it, we paint another layer over it. And bada bing, bada boom, add some jewelry, and it's a masterpiece.